special beats.
What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day, back from our break. Remember, you all can follow and subscribe to the KBR Sports podcast by going on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Also, don't forget you can follow the KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports, where the live link and show topics are tweeted prior to every single show. And also, don't forget you can call in at 571-991-0566 to give your thoughts and opinions on any KBR Sports show topic we may be discussing, such as what we just talked about with the Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fight, or also to tell us some different activities you might partake in if you were to go to Vegas. So, Nigel, if I was to go to Vegas, my first point of order, a lot of people have told me, like, Vegas is next level sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like, so, but here's the thing, though. Is Vegas known more so for its casinos and all that stuff, or more so of the club and...
Casinos.
The club, you said this is mainly predicated on the casinos.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of times that I'm guessing that would be your first order of business if you were to go to Vegas.
That would be my first and probably last order of business.
Casinos.
Yeah.
How much money would you take?
See, this is where we get into the problem. Am I with a bank account right now? Or do I get like extra money? If we're talking about like right now, I'm not spending anything. I'm spending money. So just cut that part out right there. But if we're talking like hypothetically, I had like $1,000 or something like that. I'd throw like $750 in.
You throw $750?
Sure, why not?
Okay, what's the maximum amount of money you would bet?
On one table?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like $100 probably.
Okay.
I throw $100 on it.
Okay, real quick question before I get into that topic. So the Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, the odds on Floyd were 9-1, right?
Yeah.
So every $900 you had, you would have won $100. Yeah. Would you bet your whole bank account on Floyd to win?
No.
But I think about it. This is the best chance you probably would have had to win, had to make like a return on your investment.
I don't care. It's not worth it.
Really?
$100? What am I doing? No.
I'm saying, but if you would have bet like your whole account, like let's say you're a guy that
hypothetically or my account right now.
Hypothetically,
okay, I was gonna say, I'll make what $1 back? Yeah, that'd be great. Like, what's the point of that?
Let's say you're a guy with a lot of money,
okay.
and because we had people coming in with a lot of like flood-in bets at the last second, like trying to bet millions on Floyd and all that. So if you're a guy that could bet $1 million on Floyd, and you know it's almost a sure thing, and you would get $100,000 back, you wouldn't do it. This is as sure a bet as you're gonna get.
This is the other problem with me. I'm super lazy.
You say you're super lazy?
I'm super lazy. And just the hassle and the bustle of getting down there, putting the money in, having to take all the money out, take the money, give it to the bookie. I'm good. For $100,000, I'm good.
That's a lot of money, Nigel. Man. I think $100,000 is worth it. If I'm a person with money, I could bet $1 million on Floyd.
See, the other problem is that like it will be that 1% of like he could lose. He could lose.
No, Nigel, literally, I sat there on my account, right? I was like, man, should I go all in? I was like, should I go all in? Because I would get a good return.
You didn't.
Nigel, literally, I talked to Natalie about this. I was like, I contemplated it because I'd get a good return on it. So I was like, should I do it? And because this is a sure bet you're gonna get.
It is.
You bet on the Super Bowl. You won't get a sure bet.
Sure bet. 99% chance that he's gonna win. That 1% chance to be like, nah.
If you're somebody that bet all that money like, on Floyd, and then you're going through that fight, and you're just like, oh hell! And especially for the first 3 rounds,
I would have been dead. I would have been like, oh, well,
there's no enjoyment.
My life's over. I'm done.
You're not even enjoying the fight at that point because you're just stressed about your money. I don't know. I kind of regretted not doing because I don't think there'll ever be as sure a bet as this was. Like as sure because the Super Bowl high chance. Like if you bet on the Patriots last year, oh hell! I can only imagine what your heart felt like at halftime. So. If you would have bet on this, and even if you just had $10,000 to bet, you get $1,000 return.
But the problem is that, like, I'm either not rich enough, and I don't want to deal, and I'm like, no, it's just not worth it because if he loses, it's just not worth it. Or I'm rich enough that I'm like, yeah, but I don't feel like doing it because I just don't feel like doing it.
But you can make that. I mean, Floyd even tried to bet on himself.
I know he did.
I mean, that's just so much money. It's just there. You're like, that's such a sure bet.
Like, I would need a bet. This is completely illogical. But I would need a bet that's 100% sure, but nobody's betting on it.
Oh my!
That's why I said it's not logical to happen.
Man.
But that's what I would need.
I think that was as close as you're gonna get with Floyd.
Well, that wasn't.
All right, y'all. We're gonna jump into our next topic. We're gonna talk about the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who everybody thought the trade was done. It was a done deal. Kyrie was going to Boston. Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and the other ancillary parts were going to Cleveland. But now Cleveland has halted it because after doing more evaluation on Isaiah Thomas, they're realizing that he could be out more time than what they initially believed to be the case with what Boston told them. Nigel, what do you think about the whole trade being stalled and the possibility that now Cleveland possibly avoiding the trade, and that now they're asking for more assets in return for Isaiah Thomas and the rest of the pieces?
0% chance this gets voided. 2. Well, I think if the problem is nothing has come out. We don't know how long Isaiah is supposed to be out. We don't know if he has to get surgery or not. We don't know if there is. Or they don't know if he's even gonna play. If he's gonna play the season. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like we don't know exactly what Cleveland is dealing with. So we can't say, oh, they're being greedy or they're doing the right thing. So it's kind of tough to say. I mean, I told you earlier, if it's always good business to get as much as you can. If that's what they're doing, that's a fine strategy for me. I have no problem with it. Because I mean, why would you walk away from a deal if you can get more from it? So I have no problem with it, really.
I think it's kind of one of those things that, okay, here's what, I feel like Cleveland did this little thing. So, Cleveland let everybody in Boston, the fans, everybody get attached to the thought of, oh yeah, we're going to have Kyrie Irving. Like, we have this super squad, we're possibly going to be
They didn't do that. I mean, the Boston Celtics had a presser almost immediately after the trade.
Think about it. You think the trade is done. You think it's good. Everything. You gave the information to Cleveland about Isaiah Thomas, which you believe that all the information you needed to give out on him to tell Cleveland, and then Cleveland just pulls it right back saying after they evaluate, oh, no, we might not want to do this trade. I feel like it was one of those things that it's always harder to, because Danny Ainge has a reputation now of not wanting to give up assets. So now you put the idea in Boston fans' minds, hey, we had Kyrie, and if they just want one little thing more to get him, why not just give that one more thing up to get him, even if, Not in the case of if it's a Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but if this could squeeze one more pick out of them or something like that. This could be what coerces them, because I feel like if you would have been asking for this prior to the trade actually being dealt and Kyrie actually being reported to being in Boston and all that stuff, you wouldn't get the extra asset. But now that you already had, fans in the front office and you've already released a presser, all this, you pretty much had Kyrie almost in a Boston jersey taking his Boston pictures for the upcoming season. Now that you're at that point, I think it's much tougher now for Boston to say no, we don't want to do the deal, versus before then when they were like, okay, look, we're out. It's like if you're in a store and you're in the store with your girl or your wife, and then your girl tries on something and the store person knows, hey, she's trying this on, like she looks good in this, like she wants this. Your girl's telling you, oh, I want this. It's a lot tougher for you to try and get her to not get her that when she's ready to put it on and everything. She knows it fits, versus her just looking at it through the window and knowing, it's a nice dress. But then when she actually has it on, or a ring, a lot tougher to get it off her finger.
Yeah, to be honest, I really don't care. I hate to say it, but I mean, if you're doing business, I mean, it's in your best interest to get the most you can. Now, nobody told Boston to go do a presser an hour after the deal was said to be done. Nobody told them to do before that they did the physical and made sure everything was okay. Because, I mean, on one side, Boston saying, yeah, we told them everything. And on one side, Cleveland saying, no, they didn't tell us everything. And again, like I said earlier, no information. We can't tell who's lying and who's not lying.
Well, there's a lot of posturing here. I mean, there have been Boston beat reporters that report. I mean, I knew that Isaiah Thomas could possibly be out longer than, and if I knew this information, Cleveland had to know this information.
They're saying he may miss a year, he may need surgery.
But that's the thing.
Which is the opposite of what the Boston Celtics have said.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, if Cleveland, if you know this information, you kind of renege on the trade. You had this very information. I feel like one thing for sure that's happening with this is Isaiah Thomas is getting like the dog end of this deal, because he's just stuck in the middle. Like he's stuck in limbo. Like,
he's not stuck in limbo. He can't go back to Boston.
Yeah, like that's. This is bad. Like you got sent off by a team that you played for the day after your sister died. Then you get traded to Cleveland. Now they're lowering your value because they're making your hips sound like it's the worst thing in the world possibly. So now they're even lowering your value even more. So when you want to get that big payday you're due for next season, it might be a lot more difficult for you to get that. Now, for me, Cleveland's kind of, you're playing with you're not really playing with house money here.
Yeah.
Because even though Boston definitely does want to get Kyrie, and they got Kyrie in, they got their fans all hyped on the idea of having Kyrie, Boston needs to realize you're getting that number one, the main key kicker of this whole deal, or Cleveland, sorry. Cleveland needs to realize the whole kicker you were getting in this deal was the fact that you were getting that draft pick. No other team was giving you a young asset that you wanted. Cleveland's had Kyrie on the market the whole offseason. No team was biting and giving them what they wanted. Every team was giving them essentially the same value, or same equal value, or actually no, lesser value, because Phoenix was giving Eric Bledsoe and whatever else, but they wouldn't give Josh Jackson. Minnesota, don't even know what was going on with the Minnesota situation. Everybody keeps talking about Andrew Wiggins, Jeff T, all this.
No.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins wasn't even, they weren't even trying to give that away. So you're not getting anything back in terms of youth or a young player back. So this essentially, Boston has it on their side that they have the young piece. They're giving them Jay Crowder. They're giving them a point guard that can play even though he might be hurt, and they're giving them the draft pick, which is the most attractive part of the deal. So I think Cleveland, even though both sides are going to be staunch in their position, because I don't see why Boston would want to move it. They realize they have the best deal out there, and other teams realize now, because nobody wants to bring their point guard back. Boston doesn't want to bring back Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder. Cleveland doesn't want to bring back Kyrie. Cleveland will still be a contender with Kyrie. They bring him back, but that's just bad. You just don't want that environment in your locker room.
They would just trade Kyrie. Kyrie's not gonna be on the team. He won't come to training camp, so they'll just trade him.
But that's the thing. You're gonna get a worse deal.
They probably would. This was a great deal for him.
Yeah, that's.
So, at the end of the day, he's still getting moved. He may not get what you exactly want, but they'll still find a package. And if worse comes worse, they can hold on to him until the trade deadline when some team's going to need him, and maybe make a move.
But that's the thing. And no team is going to give up what Boston was willing to part with if they know that no other suitor on the market. Boston had the best deal. And if they find out the Boston deal is off the table, then every other suitor is going to be like, okay, well, what we are offering was less than that. And that you're not getting much more else from us because we don't need to give you anything else. If that was the best package you were getting.
Maybe.
So, I think that puts...
This deal's not falling through. Everybody, pretty much any Boston reporter has just pretty much said there's no way this deal is not getting done. It's been kicked down the road too far. Jackie McMullen said that on Cyrus earlier. Brian and Rob of the Celtics reporter said the Celtics are obviously making moves at this point. Confidence trade will get done. Training camp roster is full. So everybody's making moves on the assumption this deal is going to get done. It's just a matter of it's like you said, posturing. It's just if we can get more, maybe we can't. If not, worst comes to worst.
Who budgets first?
Probably Cleveland. No, Boston. I would think because they've already changed their stance slightly. They said they would maybe part with the second rounder, but absolutely no first. No, and obviously no Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does come to a first. At worst, their own 2018 pick, but that'll probably be the most they would give up. And that'd be it.
How do you think this makes both sides look in terms of?
Doesn't change my opinion on it. Like I said, Cleveland. If you do a deal, your job is to get the most you can. Mm-hmm. For Boston, honestly, nothing they could do in this deal unless they somehow bent and traded one of their young players, which isn't gonna happen. But if they somehow bent and let's say a report comes out that Isaiah Thomas is literally going to have to get surgery. He's going to miss the entire year, and Boston didn't disclose that to them, and they lied, and they have to give up a pick or something, or another pick, or example like Terry Rozier or somebody young like that. That's the only way my opinion would change of Boston. That would be kind of like a negative opinion of Boston on that. But if they give up their own first or a second round pick, I'm not going to change my opinion. It's still a great deal for them.
Okay, now which team is better off if the deal doesn't get done?
Boston. Cleveland.
Cleveland's better off.
Yeah, because you're going to lose Isaiah for nothing. You're going to lose Jay Crowder for nothing.
Well, Jay Crowder's under contract for 3 more years.
Is he under contract for 3 more years? Oh, all right. I thought he had 2 years left. Okay. So then you're going to lose Isaiah Thomas for literally nothing, and your best player is going to be Gordon Hayward. So you're going to be back to the problem you had originally, which is your number one option is not good enough to lead you to a championship. And they'll be capped out.
Okay, here's the struggle with it for me. I think that it's weird because I believe that short term,
short term, yeah. Cleveland's going to work out best.
Yeah, and but it all depends. If LeBron were to stay, in any scenario, if LeBron stays, Cleveland's better off.
They're fine.
You know what I mean? But if LeBron were to leave, Boston still has the draft picks. You know what I mean? Boston still has the draft picks. They can still package a trade together. You can still make even though now Cleveland has essentially lowered Isaiah Thomas's trade value, which I think is also a slight to make it so that Boston has to do the deal with Cleveland. I think that Boston can still package Isaiah Thomas and whoever else with a draft pick or whatever, and they could possibly pull somebody else from another team. But that's the thing. They could possibly make that move, so they could still have a lot of ways to move. But with Cleveland,
Cleveland, if they package Isaiah and somebody together, I mean, you're essentially trading. I don't think they pull a star with that though.
No, I think you could get a star. I think you get a star with that. If you're doing the same, if you're doing essentially the same trade you offer to Cleveland.
I don't think so. You're literally because I mean it works for Cleveland because Cleveland has a 1-year window. They have to be great. If you're talking about a star, I'm gonna assume you're talking about either DeMarcus Cousins. I'm trying to think of somebody who can hit the market, like a Carmelo Anthony, for example, somebody like that. Those teams won't just trade. I mean, Carmelo maybe, but like the Pelicans. I mean, you would literally trading DeMarcus Cousins for a first-round pick, and that's it, really. And Jay Crowder.
Well, I mean, think about it. The Pelicans. They've needed a point guard, but they needed that next level point guard. And I don't know, Drew Holiday. The Pelicans kind of becomes weird because they have Drew Holiday.
I mean, they just signed him for you. I'm giving an example though, but you're trading a point guard for because I mean, you like the problem you have with saying Kyrie trades Kyrie somewhere, and then you have a year to resign him or whatever next year. You get Isaiah Thomas, you have 6 months to try and resign him. Yeah. Or you, like I said, you literally trade the pick for Jay Crowder.
A lot of teams would be willing to do that if they're willing to hit the reset button if their team isn't going anywhere. Yeah. If you say you're capped out, you don't have really any ways to improve your team. You're just like, okay, we're just stuck with this star, and we don't really have any other ways of improving our team. We're just stuck with bad contracts, blah blah blah. Some people are willing to hit their reset button if they're willing to package a star plus a bad contract. A la Lakers, D'Angelo Russell, and you get rid of. He wasn't a star, but you get rid of.
Contract.
Huh? No, I'm talking about Timothy Mozgov.
I completely forgot the trade.
Yeah, so you package him with a bad contract. You send him off, and you get something back in return that you kind of wanted, but then at the same time, it's like, well, we got to get rid of our young talent. But I think if Boston could find a situation like that, you could possibly make that trade with somebody.
The problem is, if you look at trades for stars, I mean, at worst, the worst one obviously was the Paul George one. Mm-hmm. And I think I guess it's better package than.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I mean, even after that though, DeMarcus Cousins trade was that hole was still better than what you would get.
But that's the thing though. It's like for what the Stars have demanded this offseason, or for this offseason in terms of what teams have sent, it hasn't really been that like it hasn't been like neck breaking.
Levine and a pick, wasn't it?
It was Levine, Chris Dunn, and some other person.
Oh, yeah. So 2 young talents, and well, they got robbed too. But I mean, that'll still be better than what you would get from.
I don't know. I think if you could get
Levine?
a possible, depending on how Isaiah Thomas comes back. I mean, you got a proven guy that can play. You just have to see how he comes back healthy. You got a draft pick that could possibly be your future, and because most people are going to assume Brooklyn is going to be bad. And you get a good contract in Jay Crowder, a good 3-and-D guy. So I mean, I think you could possibly make something happen with that.
Maybe.
All right, y'all. So we're going to transition to our next topic. We're going to talk about the New England Patriots when we come back from the break and how they will bounce back from not having Julian Edelman this offseason due to a torn ACL. Stay tuned to find out what our thoughts are on that topic. KBR Sports, the best sports talk show 24 Friday. Don't forget, the live link will disappear after 50 to 60 seconds. Refresh the page and the live link will be back up after that time period. Stay tuned. It's KBR Sports.